welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be working on how to make scrunchies. So let's get started. So we need elastic. We need a 1/2 inch elastic, but this 1 inch I found in my storage, so it's okay to use. Pencil, pins, a fabric scissor and fabric marker, as well as some other elastic. We're going to talk about this later, a safety pin, and perhaps we need fabric. So I have two options here. I'm going to start with a flower one. You can use whatever fabric you have. It doesn't really matter when you work with scrunchies. So now I'm going to write the dimension for the scrunchies I'm making. It's 23 inches by 5. So I wrote my measurements down, and now I'm going ahead and mark it on my fabric and cut it. I'm making 2 scrunchies, so I'm gonna cut another scrunchie. Again, it's 23 inches by 5 inches. So I just tracing now my other one that I cut, and just pin it in place and cut it. Now we are going to start working on our scrunchie. I want to show you this hair elastic technique. So basically you get a hair elastic like you see, and I pass the fabric through the hole and start gathering it and sew it, start gathering and sew it all around the elastic until you finish with your scrunchie. But I'm not using that. I'm gonna use my elastic and my sewing machine. You can hand sew it as well, you can glue gun it, but I like to use my sewing machine. So I'm folding my fabric right side facing each other, and now I have the fabric on the wrong side and I'm pinning on the edge. Again, I'm going to do the same for the other scrunchie. Fold it right side facing each other, and now I'm pinning the 5-inch side of my scrunchie. Now I'm gonna go ahead on my sewing machine and sew this together. Once you've done this, now you have stitched the edge. So you see that this side, you fold it inside and just pin it. This will be your inside side and now you see that other side, you pin that outside parts together. And once you start sewing that edge, and keep going sewing, and once you finish that part, you pull it from the inside. I'm showing this in the sewing machine, so you know what I'm doing. You will see me now try to pull the rest of the scrunchie, and you'll see what I mean by this procedure. See, now I'm pulling the part that is tucked inside. See, I'm pulling the part that is tucked inside my scrunchie and sew the edge, and keep going like that until I leave like a 1-inch opening so I can turn it inside out, and that should be all you have to do for this. Now I'm getting out the in. I'm flipping it over, turn it inside out, and as you can see now we have a big wide circle or a loop. So what you really need to do is just clean some extra thread and and add your elastic and close the opening, and you should be done. I'm going to go do another a scrunchie in this video so you can follow along what I really did, because I know it's just kind of a little bit of a tricky to follow it from the or to get it right from the first time. But here I'm just closing a little bit of the opening. I realized I left way too big than an inch, so I'm just leaving only 1 inch opening to turn it inside out. So I done that, and now I'm turning it back inside out, and I only have like 1 inch. Again, here is my big round circle that need an elastic. So for your elastic size, as I mentioned, you need 1/2 inch elastic, but as again I found in my storage only 1 inch, it's fine. I use 1 inch. You can, some people would go ahead and split it into two or cut it. I don't like cutting my elastic into halves, but so what you need is 8 inch of elastic. I know I done this so many times, so I know how 8 inch I eyeball it. So it's about here. So now I'm gonna cut that and pin it into my magic tool, which is the safety pins. So I pin it into my safety pin, and I will tuck it into my scrunchie and try to catch it from the other side. Be careful not to lose the edge of your elastic, so this way you won't have to do it over again. It's always good to keep hold of it while you're doing that, but mine was still out, so I didn't lose it. So now once you go through the whole loop, you make sure your elastic is not turned around, just nice and flat, and now you match them together and you do a zigzag stitch. I use my zigzag stitch number 4, and I go back and forth, back and forth. This way can there will be so much stress on any scrunchie, right? Use it for your hair so many times, especially if you really like this scrunchie, so you're gonna be wearing it over and over again. So it's good that you have a good tight sewed in elastic. So now I finished my elastic. I'm gonna go ahead and close this opening. I'm just gonna spread around that gathering, and now match my seam allowance, and now here I go. I'm gonna pin it and give it a final sew, and you should be done for your first scrunchie. I'm repeating the process again just to give you more like as if a revise final final try, so you can see maybe more detailed. So again, I'm tucking the inside part in and getting the outside part pin it together, and I sew these edges together. While you are sewing in your sewing machine, you keep pulling the inside part out and pull and sew the edges, and keep going and pull the inside part and sew the edges, just like I'm doing right now. So I'm sewing the edges. Now I'm going to pull the inside part out and sew the edge and match the edges together, of course, and sew it like so. See, I am sewing, and now I'm gonna pull the inside part and sew it, and keep going like that until you reach the end. Just make sure you leave a 1-inch opening as we said before. Now I'm turning my scrunchie inside out. I'm gonna cut my elastic. Again, the elastic size should be 8 inches. Get your magic tool, the safety pin, pin it into your elastic, and tuck your elastic inside your scrunchie, and make sure you don't lose the other edge. And just clean around your scrunchie if you find an excess thread or something. Once you reach to the other side of your scrunchie, just match the two elastic together and sew it in your sewing machine. I use a zigzag stitch, which is number 4, and I keep going back and forth to make sure it's sewed in very good. I am matching the seam allowance where is the opening is, and I'm gonna pin it and give it and close it with my sewing machine, and that should be all you have to do for your scrunchie. I hope that you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to send me any comment or any request that you would like to see in my coming tutorials. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.